In 1975, Yardman delivers some unwelcome news to the small town of Sullivan, Illinois. The Yardman plant, which had been an institution in their small community for many years, would be closing its doors forever. It was a tough economic time for our country and community, and now another 250 people would be hitting the unemployment line.
When Yardman went under, it was right before Christmas.
We just stood around and, well, what do we do now, you know?
We'd all worked together for the past 20 plus years.
And I just found out that my wife was expecting our third child.
I was building a new house, and I had two houses. so you know, I wouldn't have been building a new house if I'd known I was going to lose my job.
Everybody just kind of in shock, really, I guess.
And then I really was going to be out of a job right before Christmas.
Our belief in God and our faith in the future gave us strength. And I think as a group of individuals, we had support of one another. Really never felt that it was a failure. I just thought there was a future.
It was during this transition period that a small number of dedicated employees helped set the foundation for a new beginning. Ron Harshman, Milt Harshman, Evan Dickens, Ken Harris, Harold King, and Stanley Van Hook relied heavily on their faith and put forth a different vision. They approached MTD founder Theo Mall, and he listened to the proposal from the 6 founders.
If we could acquire the facility in Sullivan, he would match dollar for dollar the money that we raised.
People weren't rich at that time at all. I mean, but you know, there were other people in the church that had some money and here and there.
My next job was to get up in front of our congregation and ask for money with the idea that we were going to put together something.
This was money that was primarily pretty much coming right out of their living, or you know, out of their savings, and these weren't young people.
We gathered all the money we could and put it in there.
Some people even mortgaged, you know, their houses and things like that.
But the fact that we were willing to try to keep something here and continue our heritage appealed to them.
We started out strictly as a contract shop and getting whatever kind of work that we could get. And as we've mentioned, we built church bell towers, we built light fixtures for Eagle Creek. We did any work that we could that came in the door.
Just before Christmas of the first day after we went into business, we got a big order from Lee Norris.
The Lee Norris thing was probably the single most profitable thing we did.
That mining thing was so unique.
We really put them on the map as far as their drilling machines, and because we could make interchangeable parts, in other words.
I remember well the gal at the front desk as I would come in from being on the road, and she would say, "Did you get any orders?" That was always a challenge when you walked in the door, because most of the time it was, "I'm working on it." But this time I had $1 million purchase order, which is very rare. And it was a real Christmas gift.
Although Agri-Fab no longer resembles the small startup from 1975, the same faith and core values remain today. Their story inspires the next generation to pursue greatness in a kind and respectful working environment. This is part of their legacy we should never forget.
I don't think that any of us had any idea that it would be the scope and the size that it is today. But we were basically looking for employment for ourselves and a level of employment that would offer jobs to people in the community.
The fact that Ron had his talent and Milton had his talent and Evan had his talent in engineering, you know, the fact that I'd been a buyer and everything. And Harold King was in tooling and in manufacturing too. Stanley Van Hook, you know, was the treasurer. Those things really made a huge difference. And we'd worked together, so we knew what we could trust each other and you know, how it would be. So it was really pretty good that way.
Each of us had mentors along the way in the family, and it all basically had roots in our church, with the elders, giving us the training that we needed to sustain ourselves.
We all work together, which I think is a really big key, not somebody going off and doing his own thing, so.
It was a certain generation, you might say, that had been established here that was really meant to carry this thing forward.
Agri-Fab has afforded us the opportunity to continue to support our families, and we hope will continue for many years to come.